Today, we're going to break down everything that you need to know about Zap Lalo, whether you're brand new to Lalo or you used it and you want to get better at it. What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and today, like I mentioned, we're going to be going over how you guys can use the Zap Lalo at Town 11, whether you're brand new to Zap Lalo or you're a more seasoned player looking to get better and learn the LavaLoon portion. So definitely, this is going to help you guys a lot. So what should you be looking for when you guys are doing a Zap Lalo? Well, specifically, you want to look for a couple of these key defensive buildings. You want to get down the enemy queen and the clan castle. If they're right in between each other, you may want to make sure that that queen is right in between them. But for the most part, in this case, the queen is a little bit more on the outside, which is perfect for a Sui hero. And that's exactly why we're going to be adding a Sui hero to this attack. For the most part, when you're doing Zap Lalo, that is exactly what you're going to be doing. So on screen, you're going to see the number of lightning spells that you need for every single defense or building in the game. Now, remember that the lightning spells do not affect storages or the town hall. So that means that it's not going to be a good idea to drop the lightning spells there, but you also want to make sure that you are taking down some of those key defensive buildings like I mentioned. Other defensive buildings like the Eagle artillery that you see on this chart as well is definitely something that you need to take down for the most part, either with the Sui hero or with the LavaLoon or even with the lightning if it calls for the right base. Like you see here, the use of the lightning spells with the Eagle and the clan castle right in between would be a good idea, as they're right in between each other and you can get rid of the entire core of the base, which is definitely going to provide you with more value for your LavaLoon portion. But remember that this strategy comes all the way down to pathing. That's going to be one of your most important things. So we want to make sure that we're getting you guys into the understanding of that. So the queen is all the way lurable out here. So we can take advantage of this by first creating the funnel here and making sure that the queen, the ice golem, is going to be here to tank. Then the king and queen can go right behind the heroes in order to take down the enemy queen and the air defense. That is going to be the biggest thing that we want to do with this. Now, as we're doing this Sui hero, we can use our 7 lightning spells and the earthquake in order to take down the sweeper and the Eagle artillery along with the clan castle and the rest of the expos. That's what we're going to be doing here. And you'll see that how we're doing with our Sui hero was just to get rid of the queen. And that's all we wanted to really do, other than getting some other key defensive buildings down, like that air defense. And our pathing is very, very good throughout the entire base. There's a lot of dead zones. And for those of you who don't know what dead zones are, these areas here that have no buildings in them, those are going to be called dead zones. So you want to take advantage of these spots, as they're going to usually be used to disrupt pathing for your LavaLoon, or even for other troops such as Hog Riders or Miners. So definitely take advantage of those when you guys are doing this. Now, we also want to make sure that the LavaLoon portion is also very easy for you guys to understand. So on your screen, you guys will see the exact number of balloons that you need for each and every defense. This is going to help you guys, because we are going to be going through this to hopefully help you guys hone in on the skills of doing the Lalo in terms of a, specific set deployment or more surgical deployment. In this case here, you'll see that we are using a couple balloons in order to send in a couple here and a couple here. We also have a stone slimer that we want to use to provide a tank for the most part towards the back end of the attack. So I want you guys to really focus in on how this LavaLoon is being dropped. We're dropping 3 to 4 balloons for each and every defense like you saw in the chart. Notice that we're using 4 balloons here because that is enough to take down this wizard tower. We're also using 3 on either side because those are going to be enough to take down an air or take down the archer tower. But we also want to make sure that they're converging together to go in towards the single target inferno. So as they're moving through, we're dropping 3 to 4 balloons depending on the defense that we're going towards. But we want to make sure that we are specifically going to the air defenses or other key defensive buildings like the multi-infernos, maybe the wizard towers, air defenses, expos, stuff like that. And you'll see how we're kind of deploying our balloons like this. So we want to make sure though that even though there's a lot going on, we want to make sure that we're getting through it. And hopefully this is getting you guys a little bit more knowledge when you're doing the Zap Lalo. It gives you guys an idea of what you should be doing. Now, what about the haste spells? You already saw this as well. The haste spells should be used to get these balloons right up into specific defenses, such as the expos, such as the air defenses. Now, you'll see that we're using the Warden ability, and this one was a little bit late, but we're using the Warden ability in order to protect the balloons as they're going through and getting hit by a lot of high hit point defensive build, or high HP or DPS buildings, I should be saying. And you can see that from here, that there was some expos, there were archer towers, and there was probably also even a couple air defenses that were definitely honing in on those loons. So you want to make sure, though, that you are getting the most out of your LavaLoon. And in this case, this wasn't a perfect example of LavaLoon, but it shows you guys how you should be deploying them. You want to get as much value from it, so not using any wall breakers or anything was definitely a little bit harder here, because we did want to get some more value for the pathing, but you guys get the idea of using the lightning spells in the core and being able to take those down. Let's go ahead and give you guys another example, hopefully to help hone in on those specific things like I mentioned within this one. Now we're going to be going over the second example of Zap Lalo, and again, this one is a fairly common base. You guys probably have seen something similar set up to this, so it's definitely something that is going to be very important for you guys to understand. So what we're going to be looking at here for the most part is fairly the similar things, using the lightning spells on top of the clan castle and the Eagle artillery in order to allow us to take these buildings down, so we don't need to worry about it. Now, the only difference here is that we're going to be bringing in an E-Drag. This is going to help create some pathing here specifically for our Sui hero. That way, we're going to be forcing them to go right into the base. You may notice here that we're not using any super troops with this one, so we've got regular wall breakers in this case. So we're going to use the Ice Golem to tank specifically for these wall breakers, and we're even going to do a test wall breaker in order to break right in. And we're going to use the party wizard on the other side in order to get ourselves to go right into the base for this queen and for the two air defenses. Now, this may look a little bit more awkward, but you guys can definitely tell that when we're doing our LavaLoon to go in from the opposite side, we want to make sure that we are creating some pathing. Like I said before, you want to notice the use of the dead zones like you see here. So we want to take advantage of those spots. So we want to make sure that we're having or making sure that our LavaLoon is going in a direction kind of like this. So we want to make sure that that is what we're starting on when we're doing this. And some of you may have asked, can this work against single target infernos? And I wanted to bring you guys this video because it does work. As you can see from here, we're using these balloons, making sure that they're converging together, and we're using them in groups. Like I mentioned, we're making sure that we're dropping 2 to 3, depending, or even 4, just depending on the defensive buildings that we're going for. So in this case, sometimes we may drop 5 because there's another defense that we want to take down. But you'll see that as we're moving through, we want them to converge together as they're moving through. So we can use the Warren ability at really any point to protect these balloons. For the most part, it's a lot better when you're getting hit by a lot of key defensive buildings. There's a lot of damage going through, and you want to make sure that you are protecting your balloons and your Stone Slammer as much as possible. Of course, the Stone Slammer is going to pop into more balloons, but as long as you can keep that Stone Slammer up and keep these balloons up in that Stone Slammer for longer, when the CC reinforcement balloons come, you won't really need to worry about it too much. So this gives you guys a really solid idea of really how you guys are doing the LavaLoon in real time. Hopefully what this does is it helps you guys understand how to use the LavaLoon portion itself, what you should be looking for in terms of the Sui hero, and hopefully what this does is it hones in onto your skills with Lalo. So if you're brand new to using a surgical placement of Lalo, then definitely this is going to help you guys a lot. So definitely, what I should say is, I hope you guys do definitely understand the LavaLoon going forward with this. Now, we've got one last example to help you guys hone in on a specific skill, using the Wall Wrecker with a LavaLoon instead of the Slammer. Now, for this last example, we want to go over the use of the wall wrecker. It's something that isn't used too commonly, but this is going to give you guys an idea of what if the queen is right by the clan castle. Like you see right here, this is definitely something that you want to make sure that you are zapping away with the lightning spells and using the earthquake spell to take down the clan castle and whatever else is near the queen. So that kind of gives you guys an idea of what you should be doing there. Now, when you're using the wall wrecker, notice that we're getting rid of the part of the core of the base. And what we're going to do from here is try to get these defenses down. So we want to use this wall wrecker to kind of go all the way, or for the most part, into the eagle compartment. This one, because that eagle compartment is going to be kind of protected by this multi-inferno, and if it was a single inferno, I would suggest dropping in a free spell specifically to protect the wall wrecker from the single target inferno. But as you can see, as we're moving through, we take advantage of the ice golem that is going to provide a tank for the queen and the king. But you're also going to see the use of the Yeti in that wall wrecker with the Valkyries. They're going to help create some pathing for this LavaLoon, and they're going to allow you to kind of this is going to act as a kill squad. So if we pause it here to kind of give you guys an idea, notice that now the pathing of the base has turned a lot more to something like this. We're narrowing down this base and we're making it a lot easier for us to kind of go through the base like this. That is what I'm talking about when I talk about L-shaped pathing. So when we're dropping our LavaLoon, notice that we're using three balloons on either side because we're converging into this compartment right here. We also want to make sure that we are sending in minions behind them, because the main idea is you do not want to time fail based on cleanup. So as soon as you send in your LavaLoon and you're able to take down defensive buildings, start sending in your minions. Remember that you are using the haste spells to get your balloons through key defensive buildings like the air defenses, like the wizard towers, stuff like that. Those are going to be your main things. Now, also be careful of the tornado traps, as they can definitely cause you to really lose track of a lot of your balloons, and sometimes there might be a red air bomb ready in order to weaken them up, especially if they were already hit by the eagle artillery. In this case here, though, we were able to take down the eagle artillery with the kill squad, with the Sui hero and the wall wrecker. So hopefully this kind of helps you guys understand when you should be using the minions in order to kind of help with the cleanup. It's definitely going to provide you with a lot, and it's going to help really make sure that you're able to get through a large portion. You'll see that we already activated that tornado trap in the core of the base. So you want to keep that in mind when you guys are using this. You want to make sure that you are not time failing. In this case here, it could have been a time fail, but in this case, it was not. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is you're dropping in your minions right behind your balloons, because that is what's going to allow you to get a 3-star by not time failing. So if you guys are struggling by time failing, that's the one tip I can give you guys. Other than this though, guys, that is going to do it for the video, and hopefully what this does is it helps you guys understand the LavaLoon the better and the Zap Lalo. So let me know if you guys want to see another video in somewhat of this style. Hopefully for you guys who are beginners to this attack, brand new to Town 11, or just still at Town 11 but don't really know how to Lalo, hopefully this will help you. So remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational yet entertaining Clash of Clans content. Don't forget to also go ahead and join me on the social on Instagram and Twitter. The links to those are in the description. Feel free to go ahead and follow me on Twitch. That is where I'm going to be doing all my streaming, so I'd suggest you guys follow me over there. And don't forget to go ahead and join my community Discord server. The link to that is in the description below. But with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.